Good morning. I look very tired, I'm sure, because it's like 7:30 in the morning. And that's not terribly early, but it feels like it is today because it's raining out. I have a lot to do today, and I'm going to take you with me. My husband got a new job, and he's starting today, and he needs to go to Chicago for software training for it. So we're going to Chicago, leaving tomorrow. We're going to come back on Saturday. Not a terribly long trip. I don't need to do a lot of prep for the trip itself, but my house is a little nuts currently. We went camping this weekend, we got back yesterday, and we did do a lot to clean up. So I have a long list of things that I need to get done. Henceforth, I'm taking you with me. Let's go. Hope you enjoy. As you see here, this is some of my lovely mess I have to clean up. This is the only mess I'm going to record because the rest of it is really not that bad. My list just feels a little bit long for the things that I have to do. And it's just, yeah, I'm gonna just get going now. Step one done, dishwasher is going. Now I only have this much dishes to wash, which is amazing. Okay, dishes are mostly done. I just wiped out that little cooler and I just dumped out this little cooler, big cooler, actually in the sink. And look at that size comparison. I'm doing that in the bathtub next time. It wasn't super full, but still very awkward, so I did not film it. Sorry about my toes. So I'm gonna wipe this thing out, and I have just realized that I have not had breakfast yet, so I need to make myself coffee, and I will do that after I start a load of laundry. Yeah, game plan, gonna start a load of laundry after I finish wiping that out, and then I will make coffee and have breakfast. All right, about to start my laundry. I also have a bunch of blankets over there that you can't see very well that I need to wash as well. I have hiccups also, which sucks. I do not like having hiccups, but anyway. I also realized when I was changing my shorts, I got my shirt all wet from doing dishes, so that's fun. Let's do some laundry. Also, I'm so sorry about my feet again. Hiccups. I'm so sorry about my feet again. I'll try not to get them in the video. Oh my goodness. Hey, excuse the gross lighting and the grossness of my laundry room. A little loud right now because I just swapped out the dehumidifier water as well, but oh, hiccups. Laundry's in, first load. I'm gonna go possibly have breakfast, maybe clean up some more laundry. We'll see. Okay, breakfast is winning over more cleaning up, and I have my coffee, sweetened condensed milk, ready to go for my espresso shot. I'm going to make myself my iced coffee for the morning and keep cleaning up after that. Coffee secured, time to make something for breakfast. Okay, so breakfast is going to be a little longer than I thought. I decided that I want to make those protein bagel things that are all over my Pinterest right now. I've made them before. They're literally like Greek yogurt or cottage cheese with like flour and salt and baking powder and whatever toppings you want. And I love making them, and I'm gonna make a little half recipe so I don't have to have leftovers for when we're away and they go bad or anything. So here's my recipe. Probably gonna be backwards for you, hold on. Here's my recipe. Some of this, like this stuff, the 1 teaspoon and 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon salt, like that's all stuff that I have just won on my own from making these before. So I'm gonna make these now. Oven at 350. Okay, I've got all my ingredients here. I've got my flour, salt, Greek yogurt, which is very important that's Greek yogurt if that's what you're using, baking powder, and fresh Saskatoons from a bush at my in-laws' place. I already picked out kind of all the bad ones, and I'm gonna use a little bit more flour for this recipe than I normally do, just because these are fresh and they're gonna be super juicy. I'm making half of this recipe that I have here,
So I only will get 2 bagels out of it, but that's perfect because that's all I need. And I've got my little pan ready to go with parchment paper here, just like a little teeny tiny cookie sheet, all I need. And yeah, I'm gonna get you to make these with me. I am not putting my Anaheim chilies and my Hungarian wax peppers in there because that's gonna be awful. So that's not part of the recipe, even though it kind of looks like it.
One thing that I will attest to that you have not seen much of because I haven't been recording all of this is how much I've spilt on the floor or dropped things on the floor. Every now and then you will hear a clattering and see something wet or something on me or on the floor. Yeah, this is just how it's been going. I've had such a messy morning, and fortunately I haven't caught myself on video doing it yet, but that's besides the point. I'm saying this because I just dropped my tiny whisk on the floor. Flour, make sure I'm actually doing half this recipe. Half a cup of the yogurt. I need to
Okay, these are about to go in the oven. One thing I'd like to note as well is I haven't actually done this with Greek yogurt before. I usually buy cottage cheese for this. So I'm curious to see how this works. All right, those are gonna be in there for 25 minutes. Now I need to start a timer. Okay, I've got mostly everything cleaned up here. I'm just putting away my little cookbook. I am going to do those few dishes that I had while I wait for my bagels to bake, and it sounds like my first load of laundry is almost done and my dishwasher is almost done as well, so I'll open that up to cool out. So I'll get back here in a little bit. Oh man, I just spent the last little bit since I was last recording doing laundry and dropping it everywhere and dealing with a lot of big stuff, and also my washer stopped part of the way through. Right close to the end, there was an issue and I was looking in the manual and there's a whole bunch of stuff going on. I wish I was recording. It would have been really, really exciting, but I wasn't, and here I am now. I just put my second load of laundry in, and I also just took my bagels out of the oven, and look at these babies. Oh my gosh, I really hope I'm getting that in there. I am not. Look at that. Oh my goodness. I wish I'd also gotten the shot of me taking them out of the oven as well. They look so good, and I'm gonna eat now. So excited. Okay, I'm gonna try these. First of all, I'm sorry, I didn't actually eat before I cleaned up some of those dishes, so I cleaned up first because I can't help myself. And now I'm gonna try these bagels. So first try with the blueberry and making the bagels with yogurt for the first time. Here we go. Yeah, it's good. They're a little underdone. Makes sense because they were very, very moist and sticky to begin with, so I probably could have done a little more flour yet or needed them a little longer. I don't know, but they're really good. I don't mind things a little underdone. A little bit of an underdone bagel, not the worst thing. I'm gonna eat this and drink the iced coffee that I've hardly touched since I made it, and we're gonna keep going and doing stuff after this. So I am here with my heaping basket of laundry, and I've just realized that when I was washing the light load of laundry that I just took out of the washing machine, well, first of all, I took all the dry stuff off the drying rack, put all the wet stuff on the drying rack, and got my what I thought was my last item in the laundry. It was a blanket from Silas's sleeping stuff when we were camping. It was the only thing that really needed to be washed from the weekend that we used for bedding. But I realized I forgot to put our regular bedding in the wash. So I'm gonna have to do one more load yet, which is, it's fine. I don't know if I would have had enough room in the washing machine for our bedding yet on top of everything else as well. So probably a good thing that I'm washing it separately. But I need to do that. But first I am going to put away as much of this stuff as I can. I'm gonna definitely put away my own stuff. Most of it is Silas's, so we'll see if I get around to doing that yet. But I also need to get ready after I'm done some of this, and I need to go to town and get some groceries. And I'm also gonna stop by my workplace with a vase that I have been borrowing. So I will get to this so I can get ready and go do some errands. clothes are cleaned up, and I am so annoyed at all the little things I've been stepping on, so I'm gonna vacuum, which is also on my list, by the way. Don't come for me. I just accidentally took a selfie of myself, a mirror selfie this way, thinking I was on video. I was not. But anyway, I am changed a little bit now, dressed. I got ready a little bit. I finished putting away some of my laundry, and I have my last load of laundry in the dryer. I vacuumed, and it's just after 11 now, so I need to go and get groceries and drop off that vase and come home and get Silas's lunch ready. Let's do it. I'm back home from the grocery store. It's like 11:30 right now, and I did not drop off the vase at work because I did not have time for that, because I know I would have stopped and chatted, and I don't have time for that. So I also didn't record any of my going out the door, driving in the parking lot, which I was going to, but I also didn't have time for that. Therefore, here I am. I have sandwich ingredients. I'm gonna make Silas a sandwich and get him a bit of a lunch together, and then I'll go drop off his lunch, and then I'll drop off that vase at work. I'm gonna make a sandwich. Sandwich is made. Grabbed him a granola bar as well. 11:41 is the time now, so I'm gonna get back going and bring Silas his lunch. Vase has been dropped off. That's one more thing off my list. And here are my coworkers that I was talking about before. Super sweet. Gonna miss you guys while I'm away in Chicago. Cool. Also, look at the things that we're getting. It's flower delivery day, so we have feverfew and this stuff and this stuff. And I'm not saying the names of anything because there's a lot of things and I'm not good at talking. And dahlias, so pretty. Oh. I'm so sad. This is the first week we're getting dahlias in, and I'm not even going to be here to enjoy them, so.
But you'll be enjoying a deep dish pizza.
I will be enjoying deep dish pizza, which is not as good, but pretty good. So.
Pretty good.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you my, my garden. I had to quickly get my hose nozzle on here for this week when we're gone, so my mom can water the garden if needed. And we begin the tour. So this is a snap pea I planted. This is also supposed to be a snap pea, but we had a really rough rain a while back and it washed actually both of the seeds out of both of these containers, and that one I guess did not come up, but this one did, so success there, I guess. These are some more snap peas that I planted a little bit earlier on. They're doing great. This guy's going bonkers. Hopefully we'll get some snap peas soon. These are some cherry tomatoes that are not looking so hot, but I literally don't have any other room for them anywhere else. I could plant them in my flower bed, but I don't want to do it. I'm not gonna do it. So if these die, it's fine. I have a million bajillion because I planted so many in these two pots a while ago, and I had to move a bunch of them out, but one of my friends said that they should live, they'll still produce fruit, and they look like they're doing really good, so I'm leaving them alone. These are more snap peas. I don't think I showed these off yet. There were supposed to be 3 in there, but again, that rain washed one of them out, so there's supposed to be 1 there, but these 2 are doing okay. These are some irises I got from my cousin that I have yet to plant in the flower beds, but we'll get to that eventually. They're doing okay in here. They're bulbs. They'll live. This was the house of a lettuce plant I got from my mom, but it died, so now it's just an empty pot of dirt, which is sad, but it's okay. It's okay. Life goes on. This is our apple tree. We're gonna milk it for all it's worth this year. Last year we did not. We got lots of juice, but I want to do baking, so I'm gonna save as many of these apples once they're ready as possible. This yard was owned by an elderly couple before my husband bought it a few years ago, so I have a bunch of old lady plants like this peony bush, which is no longer in season, as well as some lilies here, and this bush, I think this is gonna be sedum, if I remember correctly from last year. This is a Cosmo I planted, pretty little flower that is one of the few that I planted that actually came up. I planted all my flowers one day, the first really hot week of this year. That's another sedum plant. and I proceeded to not water it for that whole week. It was really hot, and so that Cosmo and this one, that one under there, and those few kind of in that cluster, those were the only things that really came up that I could identify as the plants, and everything else grew over to weeds, and I have been trying to keep up with weeds since. I probably uprooted whatever other things might have come up, and now I need to weed again, so that's one more thing on my list for today. And this is a vining plant that has seed babies everywhere, which I am not a fan of, but that's why I'm weeding today. Got a rhubarb plant over here, and pan to the right, we've got the box garden, my favorite part. We had friends that were tearing down their old fence, and so Silas built this box with some of the scrap wood that they had with the help of the friend that offered us the wood, and we got some dirt, filled it up, and I planted some things in here. So all of these guys, oh, not the neighbor's yard, all these guys around here are all cherry tomato plants that I planted myself, and I don't see any little guys coming in yet, but they're flowering, some of them, so that should hopefully get us something. These are the massive big and beefy tomato plants that I planted. They are, sorry for the absolutely atrocious filming I'm doing, but these things have gotten massive. These ones and all the rest of this stuff in the garden here that isn't cherry tomatoes, I bought at the greenhouse because I didn't plant things from seed early on enough. So I have some tomatoes in here and some tomatoes in this one as well. They're a little hard to see, but they're right in there. This is a bell pepper plant that I also bought. One big green bell pepper coming in very nicely there. This one's supposed to be orange though, so I'm gonna wait and see how that turns out. And this one is supposed to be a yellow pepper. And again, a little guy there. This is my Hungarian wax pepper plant. You saw my hot peppers on the counter before. They were on these two plants and they were doing amazing, so I had to pick them. And there's one more little pepper coming in there. And then I have my mint, sweet basil, parsley, and chives, which are all going nuts. They love the rain. But as you can see as well, I need to weed in here too. So I'm gonna do that here shortly. First, lunch, because I brought Silas his and I haven't had lunch yet, and I don't want to keep neglecting my meals today, so inside we go for now. I also got the mail on my way home from doing my errands. Mail was not on my list, but I realized it's something I should probably do because we get our mail on Mondays and I don't want to neglect it and have a full mailbox by next week if I forget to pick it up again. I've also finally got the last of my laundry in the dryer. Hallelujah. This is my skylight. This is looking really weird on my face right now. There we go. And this is a little bit of a mess I left from making Silas a sandwich, so I'm gonna use it to make my own. Okay, so I've got my bread toasted and my chicken also heated up in the toaster oven. I love toaster ovens. I'm not taking a very good video because I'm trying not to burn my fingers. Anyway, I'm gonna grab this out of here first. Okay, now that that's out of there, here is my setup. This is other chicken. I am gonna do my bread, chicken, Roma tomato, lettuce with salt and pepper on the tomato, and I made a little bit of a sriracha spicy mayo kind of thing, so I'm gonna assemble this. Just using the sriracha bottle as a stand here. I don't use any real stands for things, just so you are aware. I am fully winging it. I have no equipment, no nothing, and it's more fun this way, I think. Okay, so one side, spicy mayo. I haven't even tried this. I should make sure it's actually not gonna kill me. I have butter crunch lettuce from one of my friend's gardens. Shout out to Esther if she ever watches this. Lettuce and tomato. A few slices on there. It's pretty crazy to me that I'm putting tomato on a sandwich because I never get tomato on my sandwiches at like Subway or like anywhere else. And I usually don't love tomato on sandwiches, but Roma's I like. Cherry tomatoes and like grape tomatoes and like the little ones I like. But I also have this weird ick with pre-cut veggies. For some reason, like pre-cut veggie like platters and fruit platters and stuff, like I can't do it. I don't know who touched that. I don't know how long it's been sitting like that. What did you put on there to keep it that looking that nice for so long, and why is it slimy? That is my thing. Silas teases me about it a lot, but we ignore because this is I'm just being cautious. You never know. Okay, so chicken. I need to blow my nose so bad. Wow. No, don't fall. Stop that. Stop that, you. Okay. And that is a sandwich. I hope it's not a crime that I am putting this chopped slice on here dry. I don't care. I'm eating it. Using my coffee cup from this morning as a stand now because why not? Like I said, I have no equipment. And now that lighting is better, actually, the afternoon lighting is starting to come into my house and everything actually looks good now. I feel like I don't look dead to the world anymore. Love natural lighting. Anyway, not the point. I am going to make a little fun drink to have with my lunch. And I love matcha. This is definitely going to be backwards. At least it looks backwards to me. It probably won't be by the time I am editing the video. But this is the brand I like to use, the Aya matcha. If you are a fan of coffee culture matcha, this is the one that they use. I can attest to that, as I worked at the Morden Coffee Culture for 2 months last year. And this stuff is so good, and you don't even need to sweeten it because it's pre-sweetened. But I am going to use the last of this strawberry syrup that I made a little while ago. It's really good in here. Strawberry syrup and matcha. I'm gonna put you on that. It's so good. And literally just make simple syrup and add like a cup of mashed strawberries to it and then strain it out. And it's delicious. So I'm gonna make a matcha and I'm gonna time lapse it, and then I'm gonna watch my show while I drink this and eat my sandwich. You probably saw in the video, but I made this with oat milk. I use its own barista oat milk. I only buy it when it's on sale though because I'm stingy like that. I like it now and then. Yeah, that's my matcha. For those of you curious as well, this is a coffee machine. I was using it to make this. It's got this little steam wand here, and it also shoots water out of the little steam wand of this little tiny hole down there. It's just like a little teeny tiny stream, which when we were doing research when we wanted to buy an espresso machine, lots of people were saying it was kind of a useless and goofy feature, but honestly, if you're making matcha or tea lattes, this is perfect. And this is like the most fun little espresso machine. I've loved using it. The Breville Bambino, not the Plus, just the Bambino. It's a ton of fun. I'm gonna go eat my lunch and watch my show now. Also, this is the show I'm watching if anyone's curious. Okay, it's 2:30. I've long finished my lunch, watched my show, and I've done the rest of the dishes for now. I seem to keep making them, so we'll see. But I am gonna go and try to, hiccups again. I'm gonna go try to weed my flower bed and my garden box now. So hopefully, because of the rain, that doesn't mess it up. Okay, the craziest thing just happened. I had just started weeding my flower beds, and this guy and another little guy just flew out from the bush where I was trying to pick. I'm so sorry, I still have hiccups, but look at this little guy. He's a baby. He didn't know any better. Oh my goodness. When I tell you, I was startled so bad. The first one flew out and I like yelled loudly. I was like, ah! And then this little guy, look at him. Oh my goodness. Like I'm standing like 4 feet away from him and he's not doing anything. He's just a little guy. Oh, I hope I didn't scare them too bad. I probably did. Whoops. Well, I hope they're okay. This is the bush that the birds flew out from. I'm low-key a little bit scared of it now, but I got everything around there and it doesn't look like there's any more baby birds. Also, immediately after that happened, the air conditioner turned on and startled me as well, so this is going great. Also, in an earlier clip, I mentioned that bush there with the purple flowers on it and how it seeds off everywhere. Let me just show you how it has seeded off here, how much and like how far. That's a baby. That's a baby. All of these little things that come from like sprawl from like a little spot in the ground here, and they're all over my flower bed. Like, this thing seeds off like crazy and I don't like it. It is the bane of my existence. I'm gonna flip this around actually once I pull this weed out here. And they're super hard to pull up sometimes too, which I don't love. But if we get them out and they don't spread from these ones, then. I believe earlier I mentioned that there was a really hot week, the beginning of this really hot week earlier this year. I think it was probably like in April, like mid-April to late April sometime, maybe early May. I can't remember the exact week it was, but it was the first like really hot week that we had in Manitoba, at least in my area here. But we had weeded all of this back flower bed so I could plant my flower seeds for the year. And I essentially, after we had planted everything, got everything dug up and stuff, it was a really hot week and I forgot to water all this, which I also mentioned before is why I probably had only like 6 of my Cosmo plants that I actually planted from seed come up. So I remembered to water it after that first week. We also had a few rainy weeks there, so that kind of helped a little bit. But I left it for so long, I did not weed it until like a few weeks ago for the first time. And now I've actually been trying to consistently keep up with this. When I first weeded it after all those weeks since the first time I planted it, pretty much like 75% of my weeds, I kid you not, were that vining plant. So if you have one of those, don't put it in a flower bed that you love dearly. Use discretion there, but they are really, really pretty when they grow properly. Mine just grew weird because we cut it down at the end of fall last year when it died, and it grew back funny, and I did not trellis it properly. So from an amateur, yeah, be careful with your vining plants, and I definitely want to get rid of this thing now. So anyway, I'm gonna start weeding here, like for real. Technically, I have already weeded this, but anyway, this is the before. And this is after. I can't believe I just did that all. My hands are dirty because I just did this without gardening gloves. I gave up on gardening gloves a little while ago. It's raining right now, but I'm gonna try to get done the garden box too quickly. Oh, and I also always leave that little sad patch with all my little things on the concrete pad there for last, so we'll see if I get to that. But all right, here goes nothing on this one.
I'm back inside, as it has been made obvious. I did get my garden box weeded, but that little patch, I did not. It started raining like 20 minutes ago at least, and your girl's not made of sugar, but once it started raining a little harder, mosquitoes started coming out, and my hands were just so wet and dirty and I couldn't pull weeds anymore. I just decided to take a break, so I'm gonna sit and rest my back a little bit and maybe do a little bit of packing for Chicago. We'll see. I'm sitting in my living room right now and I just realized I was outside for pretty much an hour, which is a lot longer than it felt like. I felt like I was out there for like 20 minutes, but I got a big thing done, which is great. Also, you probably noticed I didn't weed everything out of my flower bed. I left the pansies because they always grow back and they're cute, and if I'm not going to have any flowers in there filling in my flower bed for the rest of the year, I might as well have something that comes up and is cute and stuff. So also, if anyone has any tips on how to like squat properly or weed things properly position wise so I don't break my back, I mean, looking back at the video, it looked like I was doing a pretty okay job of standing up now and then, stretching and whatever, but if anyone has any tips on how not to break your back while weeding, let me know. I'm gonna sit a little bit and then I'm gonna pack for Chicago. So, it's a few weeks after Chicago now. It's August 7th. I have been editing this video for about an hour now. It's taken me a good chunk of my morning. I've been putting it off for way too long,
and I never took a final video clip from that day that I was prepping my house. So here it is, probably like a month later almost, having already been to Chicago now. Definitely weeds have grown back in my garden and house has been a mess again and everything as the cycle goes. But because I never filmed the last video from that day, this is this is me editing now, realizing I need to actually do better at recording and staying on top of editing my videos. When I started doing all this, I never thought about how bad of a committer I am to actually editing and making videos, and I just, yeah, it's a lot more work than I thought. So it's been fun though. I hope that you've enjoyed this video, and once I've completed and posted this one, my Chicago trip video will hopefully be coming shortly after. So yeah, if you enjoy house talk, me rambling on about my garden and my things, cleaning and chores and everything, I hope that you've enjoyed, and I hope that you enjoy the video from my Chicago trip.